Episode 42. The magic number. 42 is the meaning of everything.
It's the meaning of life and death. And
do you know where that's from?
Something guide to the something.
Yeah, the Hitchcock's Guide to the Galaxy is you. Yeah. Alfred Hitchcock's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
No, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. 42 is the meaning of everything.
I see. Yeah. And how did that get concluded?
Oh, what do you mean?
How did he come to that conclusion?
Who? The character?
No. Yeah, the man.
Which man?
Whoever came to the conclusion that 42 is the meaning of everything.
Well, it's a science fiction book. He's not actually saying 42 is the meaning of everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's all fake. But it could be.
Oh.
You know? Well, we don't know.
I based my whole life on that, you know?
I know you
telling
did.
me that shattered everything.
I could tell.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce?
Who did it last time?
Last time we didn't really have an introduction. We were just talking about the guests we've had. And I just begun it there. Because we didn't have a healthy transition.
I see.
I said my favourite quote, which is, because I wasn't sure, I went, is this podcast? Yeah. Instead of being like, are we recording? Like, is this... No, it just is this podcast. You know?
It is, yeah.
It was, yeah. Hello and welcome to episode 42 of the Nethergreen podcast.
And no, this isn't a homage to 42, the YouTuber, if you know who that is.
I don't. It's also not a homage to 42,
No.
The Dark World, the famous MCU movie.
Yeah, it's also not a homage to the number 42, although we are using that number. This isn't in any way a homage to the number.
It's also not a homage to 4-3 Ragnarok, because that wouldn't make any sense.
It wouldn't, no. And it's not paying any homage to the Queen of England, but it should do.
Let's just say, hypothetically, this episode isn't paying homage to anything. It's just a 40-second
If
episode.
anything, it's paying homage to us.
To Nethergreen.
Yeah, this is about us.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all about us.
In that case, just to avoid any confusion, let's change the intro a bit.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to the 42nd episode of the Nethergreen podcast.
That works, yeah.
Thank you.
That's really good. Yeah.
I am your host, Bradley, and I'm joined today by our other host.
Me, Hector.
It's you. And we haven't actually, we for the last like 2 episodes in a row, we've forgotten to introduce ourselves at the beginning.
Really? Even the one before last?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe not the one, not the one with Tom, but the one where there were too many bits.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because then there were so many bits that I eventually realised, and I was like, we didn't introduce ourselves at the beginning, can we quickly do it?
Yeah.
And you guys were like, is this a bit? And I was trying to be like, no, I could edit it in at the beginning. But then, honestly, it just fell apart, so I just left it where it was. And I guess it became a bit through osmosis, you know?
God, what a terrible episode. Is that a bad episode?
I think the first, it's a bad episode, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's an episode that I think it took me 3 sittings to finish editing it, because
Holy fuck.
every 40 minutes I was like, I'm exhausted.
Jesus, yeah, that is a bad episode.
Yeah.
But this episode will be a good episode.
Yeah. Our last episode I thought was really good. I finished it in 1 sitting. I just listened to it all.
Who did we have in the last episode?
No one, it was just us, and we were talking about... We talked about Silent Hill.
Yes.
And Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League. Yeah. And your idea for the furniture app thing, you know. Yeah. I also have a correction I want to make about that episode.
Yeah.
I said in that episode about Suicide Squad the Justice League specifically, the Batman boss fight is shit, which it is. And I was like, I think it would have been really cool if they did a battle where you're going around, you know, and it's like a horror scene and you're getting like hunted by Batman. Wouldn't that be really cool? And it would be. And it was. They did that.
Oh.
I don't know, because again, I didn't play the game. I just watched cutscenes, and I guess maybe I was looking at my phone during that little bit of a cutscene.
Yeah.
But I did do that, so good on them.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm still not playing it. I bet that is a cool scene.
You basically ran their name through the dirt about something that they did do.
Well, to be fair, we talked about it for about 30 minutes, and that was one thing I said. Everything else I stand by. But yeah, no, they did do that. Good for them.
Yeah.
If I could play just that bit, I would. But the game is £70, and I would have to play about 4 hours of shit before I get to it. £70. Let's not get back into that. That was last episode. That was last episode. How are you doing?
How am I doing? Well, recently...
I was asking the audience.
Oh.
How are you doing, Tom?
Let's wait for them. Let them reply. Hang on.
I'm doing great. Oh, good. I said that because we'd have to wait forever.
Yeah.
Not because we don't have any listeners, but because if we waited, then we would never be able to release this, and they would never be able to know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually that's true. They can't answer yet.
To be fair, because we do have the plan of starting on Twitch, and when we do that, we can actually do that. We can just be like, "How are you guys doing?" We'll wait, and then we just stare at the chat.
The empty chat with no viewers
for 4 hours, and eventually we're like, "I guess they're not doing well." Yeah, but how have you been?
Yeah, I've been good. I feel better this week than I felt last week. This week I went to a dev convention, which was okay. The best part of the whole convention was the fact that I got free food and alcohol.
That's the best part?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I didn't go today, even though I'd already paid for the tickets.
You could get that at my house.
Yeah. So I went there, and the first talk that they did, in my opinion, was... I wasn't a fan of it, personally. Basically, the structure of the talk was there were two people. One of them, I think, is like the VP of engineering at this big company called Gearset, and the other one is like a lecturer of like computer science.
It's like me and you, in a way.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. And so they go up on the stage, and so it starts off with they're both Irish, by the way. Great accents, fun to listen to.
Yeah.
But I didn't think the talk was good.
And you can't really take them seriously.
No. But that's okay, because it was kind of, it did have that tone.
Yeah.
Right.
Did they come out and the first thing they went is, they just went,
well, so the talk started off with, so they have like a big projector, and on the screen in big bold letters, it said, "We are doomed."
Oh.
And it starts off, one of the guys has the mic, and he basically goes into a spiel. He goes into a spiel about how...
A spool is wool. You get like a spool of wool.
Right.
Yeah. That's true. Okay. I mean, I don't know what spiel comes from, but that's what
I don't know where spiel comes from. I've heard it.
Yeah. I heard it pretty great.
Like Spielberg and...
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon that's what did it. People were like, oh, it's such a spiel, you know.
Yeah. But anyway, he started spieling about how, basically he started saying, all of the developer jobs are being wiped out, people are getting fired.
Do it in Irish, brother.
Oh, I can't do it. I can't do an Irish accent.
What did he say? I'll try.
People are getting fired. No, that's not Irish.
People are getting fired?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. Yeah, but basically, talking about how, people are getting fired because, it was a big thing. Loads of people got laid off in the tech industry. Talking about how, ChatGPT.
ChatGPT?
Yeah.
No, it's getting worse.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, it's hard. I can't do Irish accents that well.
Top of the morning to you. Yeah. Irish.
But they didn't talk like that. They just had like normal Irish accents, which are hard.
Boring.
Yeah, I can't do that. But yeah, anyway, talking about how like a lot of the talk was about AI, which we'll talk about later, I suppose, in the podcast. But like AI has definitely hit the development market harder than any other markets, because that's probably where it's used the most. It generates code for you automatically, right? Loads of people use it, and as a result, obviously, what it's meant is each individual person is more productive at writing code. So there's less, they don't need as high a quantity of developers. So loads of people got laid off. And basically he talks about how, it's terrible, kids shouldn't be becoming developers anymore. It's terrible career path.
Kids shouldn't.
Kids shouldn't aspire to become developers.
Well, the way you worded it made it sound like kids are becoming developers.
Oh, no, they shouldn't study computer science, etc.
I said.
Blah, blah, blah. And then they put up this giant picture of like a meme, and it says like, chill out, bro. Here's how it really is. And the other guy...
Was it like a troll face?
No, it was just like some crappy old meme, and like it had like the meme font text. It's
impact
like,
font.
Chill out, bro. It's not that
Was
bad.
there a drop shadow on the impact font? Oh,
yeah.
God.
And then the other guy is like, alright, man, it's not all that bad. And then he goes on to talk about how, it's not the end of the world. AI has sped up development.
So in a way they're doing good cop, bad cop.
Exactly. Yeah. But very little technicalness was covered. Actually, no. There was no technicalness covered in that talk. It was purely just them debating about the doom and gloom of the world right now. And I was like, I came here to learn about nerd shit. I came here to like, hopefully, you know, find out about like, you know, trending or up and coming technologies.
Computer's a geek though, not nerd.
A geek, nerd. No, you can't say nerd shit.
I think there is a definable difference between geeks and nerds, and I would put computer in the geek category.
Oh, I see. Well, I learn something new about you every day. Yeah. But after that talk, I was like, I really hope all of the other talks are not like this, because that sucked. It was kind of boring, not that interesting.
You hate the accents.
Like, and also, I don't really care about two random guys' opinions on this. I don't want to sit through a 1 hour, which it was a 1 hour talk basically about that, them going back and forth. And I was like, wow, most of the things that they were saying were rather generic, so I didn't care too much for it. But some of the other talks were good. And after that talk, it was lunchtime, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to go and buy myself a meal deal, whatever. No, there was free food, and the food was actually pretty good. They had a ton of sandwiches. They had hot sausage rolls.
What was the limit though?
There was no limit.
Bullshit.
No, there was no limit, because I went 3 times.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I went 3 times. I filled up my plate 3 times. I was stuffed.
How about with the alcohol? What was the limit on the alcohol?
Again, supposedly no limit on the alcohol, because they basically like bought the pub for the night.
Yeah.
But that was later in the evening, so I did all of the other talks.
I would have tested that.
Yeah, I mean, I could have tested it, but I didn't want to embarrass myself by getting drunk.
I would have gone up not even just you. I would have gone up like every couple of minutes and been like, shots for everyone. Because eventually,
shots for everyone. Drinks on me.
Yeah. Eventually, they'd be like, look, you've done this too many times.
You've done this 5 times now. We don't have any more.
No one else wants shots.
Yeah, so I went to the rest of the talks. The rest of the talks I thought were good. There was one about machine learning. There was one about microservices, done by someone who worked at Google, which I was surprised. That's pretty high profile.
Was it him?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't Mr. Google?
No, it wasn't Mr. Google.
Damn.
Sorry to disappoint you. And then, see, by the end of it, I was kind of like, I was almost hoping that there'd be a bit more like networking opportunities, like, you know, opportunities to talk to people. But it seemed like most of the people that were there were already there with a group, like in their own group, talking amongst themselves. So in that situation, it's kind of hard to network with people, because you don't want to just like walk up to a group while they're all talking. Everyone stops, turns and looks at you and like, who the fuck are you and what are you doing?
Well, you know, you don't just you walk into the room, you announce yourself. You're like, my name is Hector.
Yeah.
Talk to me, and you know, then you scurry into the nearest crowd.
That was my downfall, because I didn't do that.
Yeah.
But luckily, afterwards, they were like, all right, go. After all the talks finished, they were like, all right, guys, let's go to the pub. And everyone was like, woo, and they all, you know, go
drinks on him, and they pointed at you.
Yeah. And then the first person that I met while I was queuing, was like, I guess like a lady in her 50s or 60s, and apparently she was a professor, a lecturer at a lecturer at a university, and she was teaching like computer science or whatever. And, you know, but she did give, while she didn't have tons of interesting stuff to say about like work, she did have some good tips for Siobhan, because obviously Siobhan is trying to get her PhD. But this lady had done her PhD, and she had a bunch
so Siobhan went with you?
No, she didn't go with me, but I asked a bunch of questions, because I knew that it would be helpful for her. So I did find out some interesting things, and then I was kind of like, in the pub, I was like, right, I've got 2 options laid out before me. There's no one kind of like at the bar that's talking. Everyone was kind of like in their groups. There were a lot of people, but everyone was kind of like anyone that was socializing, they were like standing in a circle.
Yeah,
right?
It's like a cafeteria at school. Everyone clicks.
Exactly, and I was kind of afraid to just like barge in and join in a conversation. Like, what the fuck do you do? Like, you know.
No, you can. You've got the best opening line. Everyone there has the same opening line. But it was expect you walk in and you split the group and you go, guys, do you want to hear an idea I had for an app? Because they all do. They all got ideas too. So they'll be like, you first. Like,
or they'd be like, who the hell are you? Get out of here. But anyway, so in my head I was like, right, I've got 2 options before me. Either I leave, or I stay and continue drinking, and maybe I'll feel a bit more sociable. So I decided to stay. I had 3 pints, and yeah, they're free. They don't charge you. And in my head I was thinking, right, what is the limit here?
Exactly.
Is the limit here? Well, obviously, I have my own physical limit. I probably couldn't drink any more than 10 pints. But if I drank 10 pints, they would probably kick me out and I'd be making a fool of myself. So
imagine getting kicked out with a dev comment.
Yeah, God, that'd be awful. So, but then I went outside to the smoking area thinking, well, people are always chatty in the smoking area, which they were. I met 2 people.
But did you have cigarettes?
No, I didn't have any cigarettes.
Oh, you must have like a freak.
Ironically, there were hardly any people out there smoking.
Yeah, but can you imagine bumping into someone in the smoking area and, you offer it, oh, do you want a cigarette? Oh, yeah, thanks, mate. So, do you here with friends? No. Then why are you here? You don't have a cigarette. I'm here to make friends. Yeah. Oh, God. Thank God no one asked you that.
That's where everyone goes, though, to the smoking area to socialise. But yeah, I met 2 guys who were both very nice. One of them was a product manager. The other guy was... I'm not sure...
it's not important. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, kind of not important. I kind of understood what his job was, but I can't be bothered to explain it. They both seemed nice, very placid, very uninteresting, painfully uninteresting, painfully boring.
Like snails.
Yeah. I was hoping to meet like really quirky, passionate developers. Instead, I met a boring product manager and a guy who works at Aviva, which is an insurance company.
You wanted to meet a bunch of Sheldons, but you just met a Howard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But shortly, things got more exciting and interesting.
As you drank more and more.
No, I didn't drink any more after that. But things did get more exciting because bursting through some giant double doors, a large man, came out with a giant barbecue and he said, "It's burgers!" And he fucking whipped out this fucking massive, and he was so eccentric and exciting, and he whipped out this massive barbecue and started cooking burgers. And I guess we had 3 burgers, which wasn't disclosed anywhere that we'd be having 3 burgers.
You should have had to sign something for those 3 burgers.
No, what I'm saying is there were lots of people who decided not to go to the pub because they didn't know about the 3 burgers.
Yeah, but maybe the 3 burgers wasn't it sounds spontaneous. Like he just found a barbecue and he was like 3
burgers. Yeah, and after screaming "it's burgers," he prepared a load of burgers and I queued up and got a burger.
Now again, you should have figured out his limit.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah. See, to be fair, by that point, I'd already eaten quite a lot of food and drunk, 2 pints. So my stomach is full. I couldn't stomach 2 burgers as well on top of that. So I just had a burger, chatted with those guys a little bit more.
Can I have 2 burgers? Actually, wait. Can I have 4 burgers?
And then at that point, I was like, right, realistically, I don't think there's too much more fun to be had here because I got the feeling that most people there are probably going to be a little bit boring. So I was like, you know what? Yeah. I'm going to go back home and just, and do my thing. Yeah.
Now, here's a question, though. How boring do you think you seem to them?
I feel like I am always the man of the hour everywhere I go.
You're God's golden child.
I'm like a shining beam of light, uplifting everyone around me all the time.
If all the lights in the room go off, you can be sure there's one spotlight and it's on you.
No, I feel like I was a friendly, outgoing, mildly humorous sort of guy.
Were you cracking jokes? Were you doing bits?
I wasn't cracking jokes because you have to, you can't seem too funny because some people are too serious, but you can you can come across in a humorous way. I would have
done at least one bit.
I see. Yeah. And then the most autistic man in the room would have heard that and taken offence immediately. And kicked
but then no, because he would have taken offence and he'd have been like, "I'm autistic," and I would have been like, "Bro, same."
Then you would have kissed.
You should be on my side, man. Let me explain the joke in great detail, and then I'd sit down.
But then I went back home, and man, I haven't been to Norwich, which is where it was in ages. Yeah, it was called NorDevCon. If anyone is interested, it was in Norwich. It was very nice. I do. When I went there, I suppose after spending lots of time now in Cambridge, going to Norwich, I was like, damn.
It was always a shithole. Yeah.
I was like, damn, this place is kind of a shithole.
Well, I can prove to you it's a shithole. Ready? Dan lived there for 2 years.
Dan, we love you. He didn't mean that.
I did mean that, but I do love you.
Yeah.
But it's true. It was a shithole.
Yeah, I was like, damn, this place is quite run down, but I never remember seeing it in that way.
Because you were on drugs and alcohol.
No, I mean, maybe because I've been used to like Claire and Hatfield, both of which aren't, super glamorous. So
I'm going to ask you to re-say that one.
Oh.
St Clair, at least.
Sure. Yeah.
Just say Suffolk.
Yeah, Suffolk.
Right, so we say the sentence.
I can't remember what I said.
It's because I'm so used to it.
Oh yeah, it's because I'm so used to Suffolk generally.
Yeah.
All the towns, they're not too exciting. Cambridge is different because it's got, it's nicer. But nevertheless, even though it's not that nice a place, as Dan said, we've had a lot of memories there.
Yeah.
We did a lot of stuff in that place.
People died there.
People did die there.
Yeah.
People died there.
See, for me, the most interesting thing about your little Norwich DevCon experience wasn't any of that. It was how you got there. Because I was on the bus to work.
Yes.
And I was sitting down the stairs and I was just looking towards the door. And who do I see come on?
Yeah.
But my best friend and fellow podcast host, Hector.
Yeah.
And I waved. I was like, and I didn't shout it because it's a full bus, but I was like, Hector! And you just went straight upstairs.
I didn't see.
Even.
I always do the same thing when I go on the bus. I briefly glimpse at the back, and I'm like, and then go upstairs because I don't want to make eye contact with anyone because that is awkward, right? On the bus,
it's awkward, but at the same time, if you did, you'd have seen your best pal Bradley there.
That's true.
And so I call you, and I'm sat next to my a work friend.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have been able to sit next to me. It's a full bus anyway.
I see, yeah.
But you could have at least gave a wave.
Yeah.
But I call you. And I tell him, I was like, that's my mates. That's who I stay at every Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm quickly just call him. And I go, hey, I was downstairs. Where are you going? Why are you here? And you tell me. And then I because we have a weird kind of friendship dynamic. I forget I'm next to my work friend and I immediately just go, yeah, I saw you go on the bus. I could almost smell you from here. I saw my work friend. He did a double take. He was like, what?
Oh no! Yeah,
because I just forgot. Man. That's how I speak to you, you know.
Oh man, yeah, that is quite funny. I couldn't imagine saying that while sitting next to some of my people from work. Yeah, that would be a little embarrassing. Yeah.
Well, you told them about the podcast. I feel like that's more embarrassing.
But to be fair, no one cares, right? No one gives a shit. They're not gonna fucking listen to.
No, exactly. When we got off the bus, he did go. I wasn't trying to overhear your conversation, but, and I was just like, known him for like 8 years, like, that's just how we talk to each other, and he was like, fair dues, and he's never mentioned it again. It'd been weird if it'd been like 2 days later and he was like, I still can't believe you said that. Like, he doesn't care shit.
He doesn't fucking care. He's probably forgotten about it the moment he got off the bus.
Exactly.
Yeah, people don't care about other people. They're only interested in their own world and their own, goings on.
I made a realisation too while I was walking up here today.
Yeah.
Because we met when we were like 16.
Yeah.
So when we're 32, we would have been friends for half of our lives.
Wow. Yeah.
And when we're 64, we would have been friends for 3/4 of our lives.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know,
when we're 72,
exactly,
we would have been friends for 4/5 of our lives.
Exactly. But at some point, we will get so old and probably be dead. But we'll get so old where it will be like 99% of our lives.
Yeah.
Now, you're good at maths. How old would we have to be for that to be it?
For it to be 99% of our lives?
Yeah.
We'd have to be almost 1,000 years old.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
1% of 1,000 is 10. So we'd have to be almost 1,000 years old. We'd have to be like 700 years old. 750.
Really?
Yeah. 1% of 1,000 is 10. If we're at the age of 16, it's not going to be too far off 1,000, maybe 700. Yeah.
Huh.
Think you'd live to 700?
No. I hope I don't live to 700. I'll kill myself way before 700.
God, that'd be torture.
That'd be torture. You'd be in constant agony.
Imagine being at the age of 700, but it's not that you're like youthful and lovely.
You're decomposing.
You keep aging, but in the normal way. You just become unfathomably old and ancient.
You end up like the face of Bo from Doctor Who.
Oh, God. Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, I mean, anything else glamorous? What are you doing?
So, I didn't go to the second day. Yeah, I didn't go to the second day today for 2 reasons. The first reason...
No. Only tell us one of them. Make it the best one. Go.
Oh, shit. The best one?
Yeah.
Okay. The main reason why was because last night, so there's a Discord server that I'm in, and the guy that owns the Discord server is like this YouTuber, and he's built up a following.
Is it too mad? Because he's dead now.
It's not too mad. No. It's also not PewDiePie. No. It's not Markiplier.
I don't want to properly get into Teammate because I don't know who he is. But I saw a YouTuber died, and I was like, I've never heard of this guy. How famous? 2 million subscribers. That used to mean something.
That did used
to If a YouTuber had 2 million subscribers back in like 2015, you would know that name.
Yeah.
I had never heard of that man before his death was announced.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, continue.
Yeah. So this guy's a YouTuber. He hasn't got a massive following. You know, maybe some of his videos have got 50,000 views. I say some, maybe like 1 or 2. And on all his videos, he's got the Discord in the description, and he streams and he sends people to the Discord basically. So that's what all of the people in the Discord are from, and that's where he's from. And he put a like an announcement in the Discord server saying the new AI, what's it called? OpenAI Sora. I think it's Sora. Yeah, the new AI Sora has been released, and they're going to be releasing their API. We're going to have a conference call tomorrow. Everyone come up with ideas and we're going to build something, basically, is what he says. And so I looked into it and my jaw dropped when I saw how fucking good, how did we go from text generation to spaghetti Will Smith? Have you seen that picture?
Yeah.
Yeah. Spaghetti Will Smith to essentially videos that are indistinguishable from real life. How in the space of 10 months?
I'm just going to move it a little bit closer to you. Just a little bit.
Yeah. In the space of 10 months.
Yeah.
That's how long ago. How in 10 months? What the fuck is going on? What happens next? I'm actually like in disbelief as to what is going to happen in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
When we are almost 35 years old, what is the world going to look like?
Oh my god, I'm going to be 35 in 10 years.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked, isn't it?
Holy shit. Jesus Christ, Hector, why would you say that?
I'm sorry.
Why would you make me realise that?
I'm sorry. I'll continue the story. So, and so I thought, okay.
Oh, fuck!
Oh god, giving Bradley an existential crisis. And so I thought, okay, right. Do I really want to go to
That's actually funny. I'll give me a second to process.
Yeah,
10 years. Oh my god. 35? It's over. At that point, the prime of your life is gone forever.
Yeah, man, we got to enjoy it.
Wherever you are at 35, you'll be forever.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got 10 years to do anything. Oh, thanks for that. Carry on.
You're welcome. And so I thought to myself, and they posted that last night. Yeah. And so I thought to myself this morning, right, do I really want to go to this DevCon knowing that the only thing that I'm probably going to enjoy is the free food and beer? And I thought,
yes.
And I thought, no.
Oh.
I don't want to do that because really, I am a little obsessed with work. If I'm not able to do my work or like, you know, when I say my work, I mean like my work, not my job.
No, I know.
But like, yeah, like my work. If I'm not able to do it, like I get stressed. It annoys me. I become agitated, irritated. So I was like, fuck it, no, I don't want to go to this.
I thought you were about to spit hard, but I go agitated, irritated.
I should have done that shit. So I decided, no, fuck it, I'm not going. Just fucking free food and beer. I don't give a shit. I was expecting it to be like a revolutionary conference.
How do you get into it? Because what you should have done is given your ticket to like a homeless man.
I actually should have done that.
Yeah, it would have been a really good thing to do.
It would, but I'm a terrible person, so I didn't do that. And so
now
instead,
your portion of that free food and beer has just been poured down the sink.
But no, to be fair, I bought a bunch of raffle tickets and the t-shirt that I bought, all the money goes to like a local charity organisation in Norwich.
Really? All the money?
Yeah, all of it.
Doubt it.
It is all the money.
20%.
No, it is all the money.
20%.
It's all
20%.
Alright, the convention made over £90,000. They're donating all the money. There's not going to be a lot of money, but they're donating it.
20%.
They are. They've stated.
I refuse to believe that.
They have stated that they're donating all of it. So if they didn't, that would be illegal.
They still wouldn't. Yeah, I don't believe it.
Okay.
You have too much trust in the goodness of people.
I don't have trust in the goodness of people. I have the trust in what is written on a piece of paper.
Even that can be forged. I could write anything on a piece of paper.
Well, then we could take them to court and sue them. But either way.
You should.
either way, the t-shirt and the raffle tickets, all the money goes to a local charity in Norwich called The Feed, which is actually a pretty cool charity. Basically, they've got like a shop which was just down the road from where the convention was held, and they sell loads of like food, household like items, like cleaning supplies or whatever. And they sell all of the food and items in the shop at half price from what they bought it for, right? So they can't sell it for free because I'm assuming they don't get enough donations to just give it away. So they'll sell it all at half price just
Plus,
to help
if they sell it
people
for
out.
free, I mean, even though they're selling it for a good reason, it will just all go.
Yeah, people would just take advantage of it. Yeah, definitely.
Someone would come in and take everything. Yeah. You know.
So the idea is that it's just helping.
And that would be me. I'd go and take everything.
The idea is that it's helping people in need, like normal people, normal families that are just struggling and don't have quite enough money, you know, because when you're running low on money, you don't not pay your rent. That's the last thing that you don't pay. The thing that you stop buying is food, right? So that's like the idea. And then what they do every day, so they've got the shop, and then every day what they do is they use any excess what do you call it, like donations to buy more food and like give it out to homeless people in Norwich, basically. So it's nice, and it was nice that it was being supported by the convention.
It's nice that 20% of the convention's money goes to it.
Well, it was written that all of it was going to it, so, and I believe that.
I genuinely, I don't believe that.
See, what I believe that really rich people would keep their promises about a small amount of money. That's what I believe. And the convention made a lot of money, and the amount that they donated was apparently £940. So I think they probably would have just donated it all. That's not that much money. If it was like
you said it was like 90,000.
Yeah, the amount that they made from the convention. Yeah,
but I've only donated like 900.
Yeah, because that was how many t-shirts and raffle tickets got bought.
Oh, so it's just that?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, so when you buy the t-shirt or buy the raffle ticket, all the money from that sale goes to the charity.
No, I say. Oh, no, I believe that then. I thought you meant like all the money they make there.
Oh, no. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, in that case, yeah, that's way more plausible to me.
Yeah.
Do you see why I didn't believe that?
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah. They wouldn't donate all of it. What the fuck?
Well, if they were really, really generous, they would. But no, I didn't believe that for a second. Okay, yeah, don't act like I'm stupid. I didn't believe it.
So I didn't go to the convention today. I decided, you know what? I actually quite like the sound of this, the Discord thing. So I thought, you know what? Actually, I've got a great idea. And the idea is, we had this business idea with Tensile a while ago. It's all vodka.
That's good.
It's not.
There's something about the way you said it too. As if that's how you'd say it.
Yeah. Right, okay. Yeah. So it was not a business idea, but we had an idea at Tensile that solved the same problem, which was, there are lots and lots of small businesses, people that have, less than 10 employees.
I'm still laughing about that.
That's a good one. Yeah. There are lots and lots of businesses with fewer than 10 employees. I mean, statistically, more than half of all the revenue generated by any business in the whole of England and America, more than half of the revenue generated comes from small businesses. Right, which is actually, when I first read that, was kind of surprising, because you'd expect that most of the money made would go to like Amazon or like the big companies, but no, it actually comes mostly from small businesses, just because there's so many of them, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's a big market. There's a big market of small businesses, and they have got money to spend. But the problem is, most small businesses, like for example, your dad's garage.
Yeah.
Can I say that?
Yeah, of course you can.
Like for example,
imagine if they managed to track it down from that.
I'm just being polite. So for example, your dad's garage, right? Does he have enough money to hire?
Garage. I'm kidding.
Maybe it is garage, maybe it is garage.
No, garage and garage are actually two separate things.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. So your dad, does he have enough money to hire a full-time cinematographer, full-time photographer? No.
Yeah.
No. No, he doesn't. And he doesn't want to either.
Oh, my dad's a failure. Born failure.
Not the last company I worked at, but one of the first companies I worked at, they made a reasonable amount of money as well. They made like 1.5 million a year in turnover. And even still, they didn't have enough money to justify hiring a full-time photographer or cinematographer. They had a girl that did marketing, but they didn't have a full-time, photographer or cinematographer.
Plus she was a girl. I could pay her less.
And what's surprising is that business was an e-commerce business. So all of their products need photos, need videos. So you'd think that a business like that could justify hiring someone, but you can't. And the problem is, if you can't hire someone, am I boring you?
I'm sorry. I wake up at 6.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. You didn't even do it loud enough for them to hear. I yawned, audience, is what he's commenting on.
So hiring someone full-time, expensive. Freelancer, guess what? Even more fucking expensive. To hire a freelancer for a day, it's like 200 to 500 quid. Who the fuck wants to do that? Could you imagine your dad spending 200 to 500 quid?
I want to do that.
You want to do that?
Yeah, I might just hire a freelancer and just be like, go out there and shoot some shit.
Yeah. But, so what I thought was, well, this AI solution by OpenAI Sora is perfect for this. It might not be good for making good, high quality content that has narrative, creativity, or is,
any
good,
sort of
high
soul.
quality, any sort of soul. But
any goodness.
But
any just genuine human goodness and morality.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But 10-second or 5-second advertisement of a product floating in the air, who gives a shit? That's easy. That's perfect for this. It's almost perfectly suited for doing that. So I thought, well, perfect. Think about how many, and the companies that do have enough money to hire someone full time wouldn't use this service, because someone full time with a cinematographer full time is still going to be able to do a way better job.
Yeah, unless it's way cheaper.
They won't. For example, Coca-Cola isn't going to use OpenAI to make their marketing. They're just not, because it's not good enough. They spend millions on their marketing not because it's cost effective or profitable. They do it because they want to remain as a huge conglomerate global brand. If they started using OpenAI, they're not going to be that anymore.
Really? But what would you say about a company, let's say as big as Coca-Cola, let's say Disney? Do you think they'd use AI?
That's a good question. What for? For their marketing?
No, for their marketing, for their movie making, for anything.
Probably not, no.
Yeah, they do.
Well, there's an ad created entirely by AI.
No, but there are movies that use a lot of AI.
That use AI, yeah.
Confirmed, Yeah,
I mean, it'll get used, but I don't think...
And actually, no, for ads too, there are AI movie posters and shit. There was one released for fucking Deadpool and Wolverine a couple of days ago. People were able to point out it was AI immediately.
Yeah. Well, then maybe so, but I think at least definitely small businesses need it more than big companies, right? Big companies can pay for people, right? But small companies that were never hiring people to begin with, that's a perfect tool for them, because now they can actually have great content for their business. They can actually, have great content for their business that can be edited by a marketer. It doesn't need to be a professional cinematographer or someone. It might not be the best, but it doesn't need to be. Because, like, for example, your sister, if she's selling products online, she doesn't need a fucking professional cinematographer to make an amazing, piece of art to market her products. She just needs something that's okay, which is probably what this would be perfect for, at least at this stage. Because from what I can see, it's not great. Like, some of the people generated look a bit weird and uncanny. Like that old woman blowing out the candles. That one is creepy as fuck.
AI to this day has not figured out hands. It just hasn't.
Yeah. So do I think it's going to...
I'll tell you what they have figured out though.
What?
Feet. They can make a perfect set of toes.
You know that in great detail.
I know in great detail.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my idea, and I started to think, right, this is fantastic. So I pitched it, and everyone loved it, and
they all applauded.
They all applauded.
They phoned you a parade.
Yeah. But unironically, I'd be happy if it goes through and we all start developing it, because I do think it's quite a good idea. But
would you take credit for it, or would you just be happy that the idea's out in the world?
I would hold the same position that I did when I started Tensile, which is that it's better to have 10% or 5% ownership of an amazing, successful...
No, I'm saying, like, imagine, because you put it on this YouTuber's Discord, it gets produced, and that YouTuber takes credit. He's like, we did this, I did this. Your name's not even mentioned in this video.
I don't care. I don't.
You know what? You know what you are some user in the Discord.
Yeah.
Some guy in the Discord recommended, and I decided that's a great idea, and I'm the one who did that.
So he seems like a very stand-up, very, very good mold guy. So I don't think he would. But even if he did take that stance, I don't think I'd mind really. Because I mean, I don't know if this in particular is something that I personally would want to be known and renowned for. This was my break. This was my big break. Although, yes, it is. I think it is a good idea. Of course, I'd say that because I pitched the idea, so I have to think it's great. I don't think it's revolutionary, right? I don't think marketing is something that's going to change the world. In my opinion, things like marketing, trading stocks, all of these are like, I kind of despise the fact that people spend so much time doing them. Imagine if all the people spending time doing trading stocks and marketing were working on like solving cancer or solving hunger crises.
Or GTA 6.
Or GTA 6, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like groundbreaking, amazing work, in my opinion. So I wouldn't care. And like the same with Tensile, I think it's better to have 5% ownership of something that does great than 50 or 90% ownership of something that fails.
Okay, that's interesting because you weren't on 5% on Tensile.
I had 30%.
Yeah? How much did I have?
5%.
Yeah, so you know what? I am someone who doesn't care about the 10% of 5%. Yeah. You care greatly to the point where you want more. You're greedy, Hector.
But yeah, that was why I didn't go to the convention because honestly, I thought, and I was right to think, because I did actually have more fun working on that than I did going to the convention. When I went to the convention, it was weird being surrounded.
Elon went today, though.
Oh my god!
You missed a chance to pitch this idea to Elon.
Fuck. Well,
what's Elon's middle name? Elon Anthony Musk.
No. It's Elon Edwin Musk.
Really?
No. Imagine if it was. That's quite funny.
Could be. Do you think it would say it in your little autobiography there?
It might.
I might quickly pick up and just check it. It's right there.
Yeah, it might. It actually might.
Okay. Elon Musk, new updated. Let's just see like the first page. Yeah, he has a... Explain yourself. You have a Elon Musk biography.
So I went
Don't Google it.
Oh.
Is that what you're doing?
I don't know. I'm going to Google it because I don't know if it's in that book.
Larry.
It's not Larry. Elon Musk's middle name. Reeve. Yeah, so I went to the library one day and I saw that book and I was like, you know what? I've heard he has like a comeuppance story, so I'm going to skim through it. I skimmed through like the first section and I was like, oh, okay. So he started off living in a shitty apartment and he went to the YMCA to shower. And I was like, okay, now I'm interested. How did he get to where he is if he started off in a shitty apartment with his brother?
And more importantly, why is he like this?
Yeah. Well, that part I don't know, but I've read the first quarter of the book, maybe the first third of the book. Everything after the point where he makes 300 million is boring to me, at least. I don't find it interesting.
But that's David's favourite part.
Yeah, I really, really don't care for that part of the book because to me, it's just, that is like the story of a really, really rich man and all of his business operations, which I don't connect with. I don't find that interesting or inspiring.
Have you ever thought about the fact that if ever goes to plan, you will one day, in 50 years, you'll pick up that book and you'll read all of it and you'll be like, wow, I relate to every single page.
Yeah, that might happen. Yeah, that'd be a horrifying thought, but yeah, that might happen.
This book was written about me.
Yeah.
Hector Reeve Musk.
Yeah. Yeah, but what I was going to say was I'm glad I didn't go to the convention because even though I was surrounded by loads of people, I felt weirdly disconnected from people. It felt like weirdly lonely going to a convention on your own, kind of just like watching all of the talks, but not talking to anyone. I spent pretty much the whole day in silence, not talking, so there's no one to talk to, right? Even during the lunchtime, I didn't speak. There was no one to talk to. I didn't have to ask for the food. I just went up, took the food, came and sat back down. What?
So you're saying there was an emotional connection prevention at the invention convention?
Yes, that is indeed what I'm saying. Well put.
That's a shame.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I kind of felt like that while I was at the convention.
I'm proud of that.
Why?
That was good.
It was
I like that. I like that. I'm going to say it again. There was an emotional connection prevention at the invention convention. I like that.
It wasn't an invention convention. It was just a tech convention.
Yeah, but that's invention.
That's true. Tech is an invention.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Well done. That's the end of the podcast, everyone, by the way.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
It's not. I am proud of that, though. And I'm not saying you should have given me a fucking medal, but you could have given me a bit more of a reaction.
Okay, no, it was very good. Well done.
I don't need an applause. Even just like a nice. But no, you just carried on like I didn't say it.
Yeah, so before we move on, before we move on from AI, there was one topic that I wanted to touch on. So we did have a debate earlier already about this, about how, so like with AI, and this was also talked about in the first talk at the convention that I went to. They talked about this.
Talk.
The talk. They talked about this in the talk.
Yeah. It was a TED talk.
It was a talk.
Talk. You're talking.
Please let me talk.
Talk.
Where they said about how, AI is replacing jobs, which it is. It is doing that, undeniably. But whether or not that's a good or a bad thing, I'm on the side that it is a good thing. Here is why. Mm-hmm. So, throughout history generally, forget about AI, but throughout history generally, people have created things, whether it be machines, concepts, or just new things in general, that make people's jobs redundant, right? It means that people's jobs no longer have value. For example, how many farmers did it used to take to, man a farm to like farm all of the crops? 50 to 100. How many now? 1 to 5. Right, because they've got massive machines. They've got combine harvesters, which do the job of 1,000 men. Not the job of 1,000 men, maybe the job of 50 men. But either way...
50 men 1,000 times.
Yeah, but either way, the combine harvester replaced loads and loads of people's jobs. Is that a good thing? Definitely, because it means that we can make more food now to feed everyone, right? Or things like the computer. Is that a good thing? Definitely, because it's meant that we can do all of the things that we're capable of doing now. Was it good in the short term? Is debatable, because in the short term, it damaged people, right? In the short term, when an innovation comes around, for something to be innovative, it has to be more efficient than something that we're already doing. And if it is, people will lose their jobs, right? Ultimately, people will lose their jobs. If something is more efficient, it is going to replace some people. But that's just like... That's the downside of progress, right? As we're moving forward, we are replacing jobs. Now, I don't believe that necessarily means we're replacing people, because as that's happened, people have just upskilled, right? If you look at 1850, take the average job, it was probably a very easy, very simple job. Take the average job today, there's more people, and yet people are still finding jobs to do, even though, back then people would be saying, oh, there's going to be no jobs left for people, blah, blah, blah. But people, people adapt, people change, people find new things, new meaningful things to do with their life, right? Or like even in the film industry, when like a digital camera came around, that ultimately would have replaced the jobs of many people that, did like the hanging.
Process film.
Yeah. But, and I think AI is definitely to the extreme, because, it could definitely, and this was what I was thinking, right? I think the world is now headed towards the path where at some point in the next maybe 100 to 200 years, there is going to be machines that are capable of doing all of the jobs that people do. So the question is, if all of the jobs that are currently around today, right? Like literally all of them, farming, management, everything, desk work, maybe not creative stuff, but like, all of like the more normal jobs, like working in a hospital, working at a fire station, policeman, all of those jobs, if they're replaced by robots, what are people going to do? Like, what would life actually be like if you didn't have to work anymore? Because that's the thing. All of those jobs being done by robots would mean the economy would still be turning over. So would the government give money to people? It should. It should give money to people because...
I'm confused. Are you saying that's the world you want?
I'm saying that's the world that's going to happen.
Yeah, but you said you begun this by saying it's a good thing.
I think right now, all of the advancements that have been made are a good thing. But my question that I'm wondering is that a good thing?
No.
But is it?
No.
Is it though? Because think about all of the menial tasks. That's why I said creative. I don't think robots, I think it is going to be a long way away until robots or AI are going to be able to do creative thinking, like critical creative thinking. I don't think so. I think that would be very hard.
Nah, next 10 years.
I don't think so. I think people underestimate how people underestimate how complex the human mind is. And something like a creative task, how do you actually dissect and break down the elements of what you do when you perform creative thinking? Could you describe it? Because I can't. When you're thinking about how you think creatively, it's almost impossible to think about how you do it. And that's why I think things like that would remain as what people do. And the thing that I hope happens is I hope that all of the menial jobs, because think about things like policemen, firemen, or even bartenders, or maybe like construction workers. Do all of those people actually really love their job? If they were replaced, they'd be able to spend their lives doing whatever they wanted, getting paid by the government to do whatever they wanted. Creative thinking, freedom.
Everything else, sure. I wouldn't trust AI to be policemen. There needs to be subjectivity to that.
Yeah, okay, but you know what I mean? Like all of the menial jobs.
I know you I get the sense that, because we had a debate off podcast, and I get the sense that you want to kind of, not recreate the debate, but you kind of want to get to the general gist of what we're both trying to say here. But here's the thing, because I thought about it after that debate. I went down and smoked a cigarette, and I thought about what we just spoke about. And here's the conclusion I came up to, because I'm not just going to reiterate my points. I've said them. I've said my piece. Even for the podcast, I'm not going to do it, because I said a lot of things too. Here's where I stand. We do both very different things. You are a programmer. Would you agree?
I am a programmer.
Yes. I am a writer.
Yeah.
Now, here's how I view this. And don't take any offence, if you could, about what I'm going to say. I think it's very accurate. You're someone who, in your job, is working with a lot of logic. You're creating algorithms. You're creating rules that need to be followed very strictly. I am not. There are formats, but I'm not doing a script by the book, by numbers. I'm taking liberties. I'm injecting myself in. Would you say as a programmer you can really inject yourself in that sort of way? Really? You know?
It depends what you're doing. So that's what I describe as the menial task, right? The logical parts are the menial tasks.
Yeah.
For example, building a house.
Yeah.
Putting the bricks down is the menial task. Thinking about what the house should look like is kind of the more human thing, in my opinion. Placing the bricks down, lining the mortar, doing the manual labor isn't really, that's not creative thinking. That wouldn't be hard for a robot to do.
Yeah, okay, so here's my conclusion. Some jobs, sure. I still think it is a bad thing. You can say firemen and bartenders and builders, who loves that? No, there are people out there who love doing that. There are. That's not there will be people who love doing that shit. And it's, taking the jobs away from them too. You're not discriminating with these job takings. You're taking it from everyone. Teachers are a very menial task, technically. there are some people out there who live to be teachers, you know. Now, here's what I'm going to say. I honestly, I mean, I know you really want to get into it, but this is kind of the last thing I could say. Your job as a programmer, sure. Like, from my perspective, yeah, replace you with AI. You're following the rules. You're creating algorithms. That's stuff AI can do. You even said it yourself during this podcast. You know, it's got arguably the biggest impact on the tech industry. My job, where the rules, if it followed the rules and it went by the book, and if you create a script based on algorithms, no, don't do that, because that's how you get boring, mediocre bullshit.
But that supports my point, which is that it's unlikely to take over that industry.
Well, that's the thing, because you can say that, but that will not, and it is not, stopping them from trying, because they are. They're very, very much trying. They are. Why do you think there was a huge writer strike? Because they are actively trying to do that. And you can say, oh, the AI isn't good enough yet, it will take 100 years. That won't stop them from trying now. And if they think now that it's working, they will keep trying until it works. And people like me will lose the opportunity. Instead of being a script writer, I'd become a script editor for an AI piece of script. See, that would be my best opportunity.
But this leads into my hypothetical question that I asked, which was, if that did happen, where everyone's jobs were, essentially all jobs in the world currently are replaced by AI.
You know what you'd get? The film WALL-E.
Film WALL-E. But would you?
Yes. I genuinely believe that. Humans are interesting creatures. We need purpose. And there is only so much purpose you can get to do what you want, have free time. No, you need a mission. Even if that mission seems as boring as pour these drinks on these days, put the brick there. You need purpose. And if AI is going to come in, if computers are going to come in and take away every single job, and it's just a world full of wild, free spirits who can do whatever they want whenever they want, I think that's chaos. I think that's a world of jokers. Like, no, you need balance. And jobs, no matter how menial, no matter how boring it might seem to place that brick there and then that brick right next to it, no matter how menial and boring that might seem to you, those jobs are important.
Okay, actually, no, I've got it. I've just realised that they wouldn't take all of the jobs. That's insane. That makes absolutely zero sense at all, actually. It makes zero sense at all because of this. Imagine if take a random country in the middle of Europe, Germany. Imagine if the German population doubled. Would everyone not have a job? No, more jobs would spring up. All of the people that don't have jobs would start businesses. They'd start doing things. Yeah. More jobs would spring up. It will probably be the same, right? Because an AI doing a job would have the same effect as a person doing a job. It's just something that has taken that job, right? There's still now a free person. So actually, surely what would happen is the economy would almost just expand as if, you know, if 100,000 robots are made and they start taking jobs, it would be the same as if 100,000 people it would have the same effects.
You say that, but these AI aren't people. And by that, and I know what you're going to say. I'm about to say this point and you're going to think it's a good thing. I believe you're going to think it's a good thing. I'm saying it's not. Because this won't just be 1,000 people taking and opening new jobs. These will be 1,000 AIs who are specifically trained and have perfected what they're doing. Now, you can be like, oh, so an AI comes and opens up, say Amazon was run by AI, but that's okay. You're going to get this small business run by a person whose job's been stolen. They've just got a new job and all that stuff. Yeah, but that person's competing with Amazon. The AI is better, and people, the general public, the general consumer, are lazy. They're not looking. You're not looking into Amazon and being like, oh, this guy Jeffrey Bezos. Imagine he's AI. Jeffrey Bezos is too rich and successful. I'm going to go for Little Boy Blue down by the local mall, who's a family-run business of 4. Like, no, you just want it as quick as you can on your doorstep. You want it efficient. And AI And again, I don't know. I think you think it's a good thing. AI is more efficient. AI will get it done faster.
So it would be almost as if a new Amazon popped up, but that did happen. Amazon did pop up, and
it put a lot of small businesses. Look what happened during COVID, man. A lot of small businesses crumbled.
But new ones have popped up.
Yeah, but do you think they're competing with Amazon?
Yeah, well, no, but they're just doing different things now. Well, no, actually, no, some of them do. That's why Shopify is around. Shopify pops up not long after Amazon came up, actually. So I think people still do. The problem with Amazon is...
Yeah, but in your world, Shopify would also effectively be run by AI.
Yeah, and then the same thing would happen again, you would expect. Because if the same effect happened with Amazon, where another business entity comes in and it's more efficient than others, it doesn't mean that there's not anything else left, because there is still other things left. When Amazon came around, it was the most efficient thing, but, you know, there are still other businesses, there's lots of other businesses around that aren't as efficient.
But in a world of AI, say you've got an AI running at an efficiency of 50%, and you're a human running at an efficiency of 50%. These are random figures. You're not competing with the AI running at 50%. You're competing with the AI that's competing with the 100% AI, because that AI is running at 75%. It's a sea of AI, and you're not even a fish in that sea. You're a little shellfish. You're a blip, because the AI isn't going to be limited in that way. It's not just going to, this is it. I know people would just use it more and more for more and more businesses. It would just become an AI economy, and you would be, as I've said, a small fish.
See, I don't think that would happen.
I do.
I do think that it would just have the same effect that 100,000 migrants coming into the country would have.
Yeah, but imagine if all those migrants were, and this isn't debatable, they are better than you.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot, not putting down any of the UK people, but when a lot of migrants come into the country who are more hardworking. Yeah,
but they're so much better than you. You couldn't even touch how good they are at what they're doing.
No.
No.
No, I mean, no, you could, because it's not at that stage right now, right?
Yeah, but we're talking about the future. We're talking about what it will be.
Yeah.
Because AI is progressing, and that's what the root of our argument was earlier. Now, like we were just talking with Sora, no, if that's what it was, I wouldn't be too worried. Even in the videos you showed me, you could spot mistakes. Look at their hands. Look at that cat paw. This isn't the final stage. It will grow. It will better. It will improve. That's what scares me. I'm not scared now for now. I'm scared now for the future. I'm scared for when I'm 50 and I still haven't sold a fucking script because every TV show right now that's getting funding is produced by AI. That's the future that scares me.
See, yeah, but again, I don't think that would happen. I don't think that would happen for the main reason being that people are still in control of everything.
Yeah, but people, and again, because I do feel we are getting into a repetitive stage. I think money is way more important to those people than that. And if it becomes cheaper, if that becomes the cheaper alternative, they'll do it in a heartbeat.
But
as long as they keep getting their money.
If that was 100% true, strikes would never get pay rises. But they do get pay rises.
Yeah, but eventually there'll be a strike where it won't matter. If the AI was good enough, that writer's strike that just happened would never have been resolved. We don't need you anymore. The AI can just do it. That's why that strike worked, because the AI isn't good enough yet. But one day, and you think 100 years, fine. Either way, 100 years isn't actually that long, brother. Really think like that.
I know it's not, but I don't think it would get to that stage, because in reality, if that many people were upset about something, people are in control, right? People are in control and people are empathetic. People care about one another.
I think Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, cares.
He would care if all of the customers and viewers were angry because thousands of people have lost their jobs.
No, people get angry all the time. People don't care. As long as they keep making money, they don't care. That's the only way it would actually make a difference. If people really did a boycott Disney, stop watching the Marvel movies, stop paying Disney Plus.
Yeah, I mean...
And the general consumer, the general audience, and I believe this, I don't know if you believe this, I believe it, not everyone is addicted to the internet. If I asked my mum about AI, she wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Like, eventually, if AI was to take over, there'd be a big uprising on the internet. Oh, you can't do that. The general audience, I don't think they'd even fucking know.
It wouldn't be on the internet, it would be on the news.
Yeah,
if it was an actual real strike, it would be in the news.
Yeah, I'm not talking about a strike. I'm saying, if a movie was to come out that was completely made by AI, the cinematography, the directing, the editing, the script, how many people in the general audience do you think would actually know? Before watching the film, they would be like, oh, did you hear about that film that was made by AI? No, they would just see a film.
Well, if people started striking, then they'd know. If, for example, like, as you say, in the future, all of these scriptwriters, or just people in general, let's say a car factory, in a car plant, everyone's been replaced by AI.
I honestly, I think you have to be, and I don't mean this as an insult, because I am too, I think you have to be kind of chronically online to actually get the full scope of how dangerous AI is right now. You can say, oh, it's on the news. So's a lot of things that people don't fucking know about and care about. Like, the general audience, they don't give a shit. And they won't. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion.
People do care. Think about, like, Gaza, or like all of the fighting that's happened there. I mean, that's everywhere. That's a prime example of something that's had loads of attention.
Yeah, where were you seeing it?
Well, there've been strikes in London, loads of people, just Londoners, random people.
Yeah, how much of a change has that made?
It made a big change.
Really? Explain.
Yes. So, England withdrew funding that they were going to be giving to Israel. So, yeah, that's a big change.
Okay. I mean, is it?
Well,
I mean, it is a change.
It is a change. I think you're being overly pessimistic. I don't think, because people are in control, right? People are in control. If there is a huge strike, hundreds of thousands of people in uproar.
But yeah, I think we're getting off topic, because you're the one who brought up Gaza, and that's that's a terrorism, that's an act of war, all that blah blah blah. That's going to actually affect the economy, and it's not even a long term effect, a short term effect. AI.
Yeah, but this is if in the far future when half of the world has lost their jobs, or like if it's getting to a point where it's actually bad, and people aren't happy about it, and it is like terrible, and it's actually bad, it's not a good thing, then I feel like people are good, and people know when wrong is being done, right? People know when wrong is being done, and I don't think it would spiral out of control, right? Like it's not like a methodical attack on people. It is just people trying to make more money. But ultimately, if it gets to the point where people aren't happy, then I think people are good generally, right? People care about other people, and if it gets to the point where it is disastrous, then something good would be worked out, right? I don't think it would get to that stage where, everyone's lost their jobs and, people are struggling or suffering. I don't think it would get to that way. The way I see it, what would likely happen is all of the menial tasks that are replaceable would get replaced, like builders, construction, or or it would be good for expansion. Because also from the government's perspective, you're not allowed to just lay off loads of people to replace them with AI, right? You can get sued for that. So I think, if anything, it would probably just aid growth is what it would be used for, right? So expanding, hiring more people. We don't have to hire more people. We'll just, it would probably be used like that.
I do want to end this debate, because our opinions are just too different. Here's the last thing I'll say about it, and everything I'm about to say technically agrees with you. I think AI is useful for a lot of things. The one main thing I think it should be used for is medical reasons, medical procedures. Fuck yeah, have AI find cancer cells and systematically destroy them. Do surgery on grapes, all that sort of shit. Have AI do that. Have AI do things like you just said, is meant for growth, meant for the betterment of mankind. That's kind of where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Because that's not, that really, if you can say that's taken away the job of a surgeon, that surgeon isn't going to do as good of a job. And that's what's most important there. That's the most important thing there, is that they do a good job and they get rid of the cancer. That's where I think AI should be used. That's where I support it being used. There was that study a little while ago. Oh yeah, these guys made an AI to try and figure out types of croissants, and instead it perfectly identifies a very specific type of cancer. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah, AI. Good for you, pal.
Yeah.
That's the good part. That's the part I agree with. I hope that gets developed more. Eventually, I don't care about doctors. No, I'm kidding. You know, don't replace jobs. Create new ones specifically for the AI. Yeah, have AI be the cancer specialists 2.0. Human doctors can still do their things.
So I think that's probably what will happen.
Yeah, and if that happens, sure. But that's really kind of where I want to end it. Our opinions on it are just too different. And it's not worth just going, because this could have been a 3-hour podcast.
That's why I quite like the hypothetical, because that's not an opinion.
Yeah, but at the same time, arguing about, or even debating about hypothetical is counterproductive.
No, I meant like, as in, what do you think would happen?
Well, I've explained. I think it'd become WALL-E. I think that'd be the world. I think it'd be a world of chaos and people would just become fat and meaningless. That's what I believe the world would be. Yeah. And the best part about it is you can disagree with that, and that's fine. Yeah. All of it's hypothetical, including our opinions about it.
See, I like to think that everyone would basically become a bunch of artistic hippies. Everyone in the whole world would
is that a good thing?
Everyone would just become a bunch of artistic hippies. Or, like, philosophical. Everyone become, like, philosophical.
I think the world would become the Purge.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Moving on from the AI topic, we've also got some trailers that we watched.
Do we? We don't need to talk about it. I mean, we're already an hour and 23 minutes in.
We can at least talk about the Deadpool trailer.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Basically, the SuperBowl aired, and there were like 11 trailers we were going to talk about. We watched them all. But you're right. I only really care about a Deadpool one.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's do it quick. Let's do all the other ones really quickly, quick fire.
Yeah.
Because I suppose they're worth mentioning, but I'm also not even going to see most of those movies.
No.
Actually, there's one other topic I could really talk about, I guess. So, they're making a Fantastic Four movie. You've heard of the Fantastic Four?
I have, yeah.
Yeah? What do you know about them?
They're fantastic.
And there's four of them.
There's four of them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've watched 2 or 3 of them. There's one with like a silver guy, Surfer.
Yep, that's Fantastic Four Wives of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, the one where, the first one, is there a second one?
That is the second. Well,
the Silver Surfer is the second
technically there's 4, but the first one you would not have seen, because it was in the fucking 80s and was unreleased.
Oh, I see.
Until it was leaked.
Yeah. Well, I've seen two of them then, and it's with the same actors as Silver Surfer.
That's Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four Wives of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
They're fine. Yeah. They're good. They're fine. They're campy and fine. Yeah. But they announced they were making a new one ages ago. Really ages ago, like fucking 4 years ago. And only recently on Valentine's Day did we get an official cast announcement. Who's actually going to be in it. So here's who's actually going to be in it. So as Reed Richards, the leader of the Fantastic Four, he has stretch powers. He goes, ooh, and his arm goes, ooh, you know. Yeah. His arms are too long. We're going to get Pedro Pascal.
Oh, shit.
Also known as Joel and the Mandalorian.
Oh, it's that guy.
And that guy, yeah. And then as the Thing, who's big orange rock guy.
Yeah.
We're getting Ebon Moss-Backrack, I guess. I've never said his name out loud. I think it's Backrack. How else would you pronounce that? Backrack. That's just
Bockrack.
No, again, Ebon Moss, who is good. I haven't seen The Bear, but he's in The Bear. I have seen the first season of The Punisher, which he's in, and I really love him in that season of television. And then as the Invisible Woman, Sue Storm, and you'd never guess her power. I command you to guess her power.
Is it that she can poo melons?
Wow, you're close. Technically, you're kind of close. No, you're not. She can go invisible and make force fields.
Yeah.
And she's been played by Vanessa Kirby. Have I ever seen Vanessa Kirby in anything? I actually don't know. So I'm going to quickly search her. Because I don't know. Yeah? I don't remember her from any of them. Well, the actress?
No, the movies.
She's in some of the Mission Impossibles, which I haven't seen in a while.
Wow, there you go.
She's in About Time, which I have seen. She's in Me Before You, which I have seen.
Yeah.
She's in Jupiter Ascending, which is shocking.
Everest.
Apparently she's in Everest. Have you seen Everest? Oh. She's in The Imitation Game, where Benedict Cumberbatch plays that fucking freak.
I don't know that.
The guy who invented a computer or some shit.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that, no.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen her and stuff, but I don't remember her at all. But yeah, she plays the Invisible Woman. And then the Human Torch, Johnny Storm, the man who becomes fire, is being played by Joseph Quinn, who you will recognise as Eddie from Stranger Things.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for him.
Guy. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
But yeah, they finally announced the cast. About time too. A lot of people have a lot of thoughts. Mostly about Pedro Pascal and Joseph Quinn. Reed Richards is a very specific type of character, and you wouldn't immediately picture Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal seems like he's not goofy, but he doesn't outwardly seem as stoic and serious, and also just nerdy as Reed Richards.
Yeah.
I like Pedro Pascal a lot. And I also, because, someone will get cast and people will be like, oh, miscast. Watch the fucking film first, nerds.
Yeah.
You know who people said were miscast? Heath Ledger as the Joker. He's amazing. You know who people said were miscast? Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. He's amazing.
Wait, how? How did people say that was a...
Because back then, he wasn't Tony Stark. He was just some... junkie, to be honest, is what he was. It sounds mean, but he'd been to prison, Yeah. And, what do you mean Edward from Twilight is going to play Batman? Yeah, he is. He's going to be the best on-screen Batman. Miscast. Watch the film, nerds. Yeah. And then Joseph Quinn, people also he's miscast. Because Johnny Storm is supposed to be he's supposed to be young, and he's supposed to be he's a bit of a jock. Chris Evans played him in the original Fantastic Four, who went on to play Captain America.
Yeah.
Again, watch the film, nerds. But also, no, I could see him being a Human Torch. You're basing that solely off his performance as Eddie in Stranger Things. People can do other things. Yeah. He's an actor. He isn't Eddie from Stranger Things. Yeah. He's not going to come into Stranger Things being groovy. No. He's going to do something new. A lot of people think it's going to be set in the 60s. I don't know if that's been confirmed, but they're thinking that's solely based on a picture that was posted that announced the cast, where it looks like fucking Marvel Studios. So it is. So that's the picture that was used to announce it, which is a very 60s picture.
Yeah.
So people were like, oh, it's set in the 60s. And it's well, it could be. It certainly could be. But, they're from the Fantastic Four were created in the 60s. It's clearly based on a Fantastic Four comic, which was probably from the 60s. Yeah, they're paying homage. Yeah. So, it could easily be set in the 60s. I don't think this picture is proof of that at all. Even slightly, actually. But who knows? But the other relevant bit of news there, also, it's been directed by Matt Shakman, who's directed a lot of episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, including all of season 7, which is my favourite season.
This is actually just going to be one long episode of It's Always Sunny.
I hope so. Yeah. A lot of people were saying, oh, that's great. Because unironically, you've got a pretty good Fantastic Four cast. In It's Always Sunny. You've got The Thing, who's Danny DeVito. You've got Caitlin Olsen as the Invisible Woman. You've got Dennis as Reed Richards, who, unironically, that's a really good choice for Reed Richards, I think. I think Dennis from It's Always Sunny is actually, he would be really good.
Yeah.
And then you've got Johnny Storm, who is Mac. I don't know who Charlie would be. Maybe Charlie would be the Silver Surfer. Or Doctor Doom, Yeah. But yeah, it's Matt Shakman, and they pushed back the release date. This movie was supposed to come out this year or last year, but it's not, obviously. You've only just announced casting. It's getting released next year. I think, I'm just going to say a month, July next year. But why that's important is because it will be released in the same month as Superman Legacy, the first film kicking off the new DC universe.
So,
which is really funny. That's a real fuck you to Warner Brothers and DC right there. What's that? You wanna start a new universe? Bam! Marvel's First Family, bam, Pedro Pascal, bam, Doctor Doom maybe, or Galactus, which would be even bigger for me. I'd be like, holy shit, like, yeah, that's a real fuck you. I predict now, if they keep to that date, Superman Legacy will not. It will either be pushed forward or pushed backwards a little just to get out of its way. The last time they tried that, because they did Batman v Superman, and then Marvel were like, bam, Captain America Civil War the same fucking month.
Yeah.
And DC stuck to their guns. They were like, oh, you know what? We can take it. This is Batman versus Superman. They're two of the biggest superheroes in the world. Who cares about Iron Man and Captain America? We've got them on our side. So Batman v Superman made $874 million in the box office. That's really good.
It's respectable.
That's really respectable. Good on them. How much do you think Captain America Civil War made?
More.
A film about, let's face it, at the time, they should have been way less popular superheroes. Or at least, historically, they always have been. It made $1.153 billion.
A lot more.
You should have stuck to your guns, DC, and I don't think they're going to this time. Because I reckon that will be what they would say if they do. They'll be like, Superman is the most iconic superhero I ever met. Yeah. You don't have the trust of the brand, guys. I personally, I would go and see Fantastic Four instead.
Yeah.
I would wait to see Superman Legacy on streaming. Because, one, it will be, that's how streaming works now, I'll just wait a couple of months and there it is. But two, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
You have let me down repeatedly.
But surely what Marvel could do if DC pushed the release date, Marvel could do the same.
They could do, but they do also need to actually make the movie.
Yeah.
Because Superman Legacy has already started filming and all that shit. I actually don't even think Fantastic Four has. I don't know. I might be wrong, but I think they have.
Unless they're doing it secretly.
Yeah, so secretly. Yeah. I mean, all these films are on a green screen nowadays. You could probably film it all in one room.
It's going to be all done by AI.
Yeah. It's like the Amazing Bulk. But yeah, and also talking of Marvel, I guess, they released a trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine, but let's quickly brush on the other ones. Wicked, I don't care. It looks shit. As in, visually, I think it looks shit.
It didn't look good at all. No.
Also, the fact that, they're supposed to be, teenagers. Because it's not based on The Wizard of Oz, technically. It's based on a musical based on The Wizard of Oz.
Right.
Which is another thing. That's a musical. Could you tell from the trailer? I couldn't.
No.
They're not promoting that at all. It's another Wonka. I went into Wonka, and it started with a song, and as soon as the first, they went, da-da-da-da, and I immediately went, oh, fuck, it's a musical. Oh, no, I've been tricked. Yeah. I've been tricked and trapped. So they're trying to do the same thing.
That's
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm pretty optimistic for it. Yeah. I think the current, this recent Planet of the Apes trilogy, especially 2 and 3, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes, are pretty fucking peak, actually. I think they're really, really good. Especially Dawn. Dawn's like a solid 8. It's a great goddamn movie. So yeah, I don't mind. I do think I've got mainly a couple of fears. This is the 4th one. You really, does any series need a 4th movie? Really?
It could still be good.
It could still be good.
Especially because now it is set in a different sort of setting to the other movies.
Well, it is, but it is still the same world. Like, the main character is just Caesar's son from the 3rd one, which is also kind of another complaint I have. I get that it's his son, and there would be some similarities, but watching the trailer, I was just like, no, that's just they've just used that's the exact same character model. Yeah. I was hoping for a bit of a distinctive.
Wait, is it acted? Because it's acted by that famous actor who also did Gollum,
Andy Serkis.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's acted by him.
Because Caesar is acted by him.
Yes. I don't know. So
if this one is, then it's just Caesar, right?
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. No, he's not in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is completely new. Yeah. I mean.
Oh, never mind.
He is in it.
No, apparently it's actually set 300 years after the events of War of the Planet of the Apes.
Holy shit. So it's definitly not his son.
So it's not. So why does it look so much like him?
It's his grandson.
Yeah, it's his
it'd be his great grandson.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm optimistic for it. I think those two are paying. It's directed by Wes Ball, who I don't know who that guy is. Who is this guy? What has he done? Oh, he did the Maze Runner films, and that's kind of it.
I thought the Maze Runner films were okay.
Yeah, but compare that to the one who directed Dawn and War, Matt Reeves, who directed fucking Cloverfield, Let Me In. He directed the Batman after. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think Let Me In is that good. The original was better, but Cloverfield and Let Me In, they're pretty good. I didn't like the Maze Runner films at all.
I thought they were okay, but then again, I watched them ages ago. That was a long time ago.
If you were under the age of 16, I don't trust your opinion, because I knew you as a 16-year-old and you had shit taste.
Yeah. But all of the Planet of the Apes films I've enjoyed. Yeah, I think it's really great.
Oh, really? All of them? Or just this most recent trilogy? You know, there's like 18 of those fuckers.
Wait, really? Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay, how many are there? Because, Planet of the Apes isn't a new concept. The first film was like in the 60s.
Oh.
In fact, Rod Serling, who did The Twilight Zone, wrote the very famous ending, which is that because the ending of the first Planet of the Apes films, it's like a fucking, he's gone to the planet of the apes. And he's like, I need to get home. And then he ends up on a beach on the same planet, and he falls to his knees, and he's looking up something. He's like, no! And then the camera pans out, and we see a destroyed Statue of Liberty. And the twist is, he's been on Earth the entire time. And he's shouting, you've definitely heard this in films, because it's so iconic. He's shouting, you maniacs, you did it! Oh. God damn you all to hell! Yeah. Iconic line. He wrote that. So how many are there? So, one... Just show me them in like a table. What is this? Show me them in a table, please. I'd like to see them in a table. List of films, finally. Okay, so there's 10, including the new ones. That's still a lot of films.
That's a lot of films, yeah.
So you love all of them?
I've loved all of the ones that have come out after 2000.
Yeah, that's the way. Oh, including 2001's, which is awful. This is a terrible film.
Oh, wow.
It's directed by Tim Burton.
No, I haven't seen that.
A horrific film. Honestly terrible.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I'm optimistic. After that, A Quiet Place Day One. Do you know much about the Quiet Place films?
I've seen them. I thought they were good.
Did we go and see the first one together in cinema?
We might have done.
I know I saw it in cinema, but I've got a slight recollection of it being with you, and we were with our respective girlfriends at the time. Am I correct about that?
We might have done. Yeah, we might have done.
Yeah. Because we did that a couple of times. I know we did it for Logan, obviously.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was another one we did it for.
We might have done it for A Quiet Place. This is a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
I can't remember.
We've done a lot of drugs since then. But yeah, I don't know. I think they're fine. I don't think they're that original. I mean, a monster that can hear you. Shh. like, sure. Yeah. They're fun and goofy, I don't care. Yeah. It does say a lot to me that, like, this will be the third film and they're already doing a prequel. Like, I thought the second one was pretty good. Continue the story. What happened to that family? You're already doing the prequel? The prequel is like the fifth film in a series. The Purge is a great example of that, actually. The fifth one is the first Purge. Yeah. Like, you do a prequel and the series starts to run a bit dry. So has it already started running a bit dry? Who knows? Yeah. It looks fine. Joseph Quinn again is in that. Oh. As is Lupita Nyong'o, who...
Don't know who that is.
She's been in a lot of things. I think she's a really great actress. She was in Us. The film Us. You've not heard of it? It's Jordan Peele. Man. She's in Black Panther. Oh. You haven't actually seen that, but you've heard of it.
No, I haven't seen it.
Either way. I don't know. I'll go see it, sure. I don't care. Despicable Me 4. God fucking damn, how is it 4?
A god tier movie.
This is the 6th film in the series.
Wait, you're kidding.
Because they've also made 2 Minion movies.
Of course. Yeah. Man. They could keep making those movies till the day I die.
And they will.
Every one
Eventually they'll be fully AI too.
Oh God. It would just be the same thing repeated over and over again. Oh God.
No, that's the thing. I don't like Illumination, but they've done like statements about AI. In fact, have you seen the latest thing they did about AI?
I haven't.
They did a little parody of AI with the Minions. Unironically, I don't want to see it. I'm pleased don't make me. I know we're gonna see it, but I don't want to. Yeah. After that, we got Twisters. This was the worst trailer of them all. 100%.
Absolutely terrible.
It's funny because there is an original Twister. I don't know when it was made, 90s probably, but it's like a sequel to that. But at the same time, it's like, why? Tornadoes and twisters are real things. You don't need to make it a sequel to the 90s film. It's not as if they did another film about a shark, they'd have to make it a sequel to Jaws. I know that's just a thing that exists in the real world. You don't have to connect a universe.
Are they trying to go for the bad movie vibe? Because at parts,
it's 100% is, yeah.
Because at parts, I was like, I see what you're trying to do here.
Yeah. It's like that film with The Rock that came out. Like, what was it? The one where the moon was going to destroy the world.
Oh, God.
Geostorm? I think it's called.
That was fucking stupid.
Moonfall, something like that. I think it's called something like that. But yeah, no, I do think they're leaning towards that audience. And they're doing a good job at that because it looked shit.
Yeah. Moon rock.
The moon, it comes crashing down to
the rock. And the rock smashes.
Starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. After that was Shogun, the one with the ninjas.
Which was good.
It looked good, but you got a load of Japanese ninjas, whatever they are, Chinese, Japanese, Asians. Why are you all speaking English, bro?
Yeah, why speaking English and then only a little bit of
There was like
Japanese?
2 lines in the trailer in actual
If they're all native Japanese people in Japan.
I've spoke about this definitely on the podcast before. That might be my biggest peeve in movies. When they did it in Black Widow, and that's the example I always bring up because it's so stupid. Yeah. You've got 4 people who are all native Russian. They all are fluent Russian. And they're around the table speaking not just English, but broken English in their accents, because none of the actors are Russian, so they're all just doing Russian accents. Why wouldn't you just speak Russian? You're alone. The only people who can hear you is us, and we're not real. We are the audience. Yeah. So why are you all talking like this?
It's terrible. It's honestly terrible.
When it takes me out of a movie without fail every time, and it seems like this movie might be entirely that. Oh, I don't know. After that, there was If. I don't care. Fine. Yeah. Ryan Reynolds has been busy.
Right, yeah, that's what I said. You stole my line.
Yeah, you did say that.
Because we were watching it and I was like, wow, Ryan Reynolds has been busy.
Yeah. No, credit Hector. But it's true. It was probably fun. I don't care. I really don't. Is it?
Yeah, it's a kid's film. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think
probably.
So. Yeah.
Because here's the thing, and again, I don't think this is that original of a concept. There are films that have done. Have you seen Drop Dead Fred?
No.
It seems like exactly the same concept, but it's not animated. Drop Dead Fred is about a woman who's 30 or 20s, whatever, and then her imaginary friend from when she's a kid comes back, and he just wreaks havoc on her entire fucking life.
That's it. Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently, because it's directed by John Krasinski, he also did A Quiet Place. The first one and second, I guess. Yeah. He's the dad in it. This guy dies horrifically.
Nice.
He's ripped to shreds in front of his kids. Yeah. And he didn't have to be. Let me quickly say that. Have you seen A Quiet Place since the first time you saw it?
Not recently.
So they're in a truck.
Yeah.
And their kids are in a truck, and the truck's surrounded by them. And he stood there, and he's like, in his head, he's clearly thinking, I need to create a distraction. The monsters need to come from me so they can get out of the truck and go. So he signs to them, I love you all so much. And then he just goes like, and he screams so that he makes a noise. And it's like, do literally anything else that makes noise. Yeah. You are not the only source of noise here. Pick up a rock and throw it over there. Do anything. Why are you even just standing there? Run and scream. Buy them more time.
Yeah.
Why did you do that? There's so many other things you could have done. It's ridiculous. But then he didn't.
Yeah. What I think is that If movie looks like a more cheerful, child-friendly version of I See Dead People.
I kind of get what you mean. Yeah, I kind of get what you mean. But yeah, sorry, so why I brought up, so John Krasinski said that you'll probably write it as a kids movie because he said his inspiration was like a live action Pixar movie. I don't want to see it. I will end it there. Because I don't care. The next one, The Fall Guy. This is cheating. Because, while there wasn't a trailer for it played during the Super Bowl, I've not actually watched the Super Bowl. I don't care about football. This trailer's been out for a while. It's Ryan Gosling plays a stuntman who actually has
Ryans.
A lot of Ryans. We'll just call him Ken, because that's who he is.
You've got Ryan Reynolds, Ryan
Gosling.
Any other Ryans? Come out wherever you are.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah, there's probably more.
Ryan Reynolds, we already said it. But yeah, and he's playing a stuntman who actually has to like save the day. I don't know, it looked fun. I'd watch it. I'm going to predict now it's like a 6 out of 10. That was fun, yeah. And minimals. That's fun. Yeah, after that was Monkey Man. I think this is quite, because I hadn't heard of this film.
It looked fun and funny.
It seems like a John Wick thing, but then I was watching it and I saw it and I was like, oh, Dev Patel's in it. Cool. I've not imagined him in an action role. And then it came up in big letters, directed by Dev Patel. And immediately I was like, oh, that's really funny. I already know he also wrote the film. And then at the very end, screenplay by Dev Patel. And I was like, man, imagine if I did that. Yeah. It looked fun though, I guess. I mean, I don't want to be racist, but we both said it. It just looks like an Indian John Wick.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not as if they're not... The music during the trailer is that kind of traditional...
Indian music.
Yeah. I'm here for it. I don't care. Sure, I'll watch it. And then Godzilla X Kong. The third monkey-related thing. Did we talk about the first one on the podcast? Because we watched it in the Discord, Cole. I don't know if we ever actually spoke about it on the podcast. I'd have to check that.
What, Godzilla versus Kong?
Yeah, Godzilla v Kong.
I think we might have. Yeah, no, we must have. I think we must have.
I would hope we did, because otherwise, why did we watch it?
No, I think we must have.
When did it come out? Because it's possible it actually came out before we started the podcast. Is that possible?
Maybe.
Alright, it came out in 2011.
Okay, so it did.
2021 even.
Oh.
In March. When did we start this podcast? If we did, it must have been one of the really early ones. No, July of 2021. I think we missed it.
So we just watched it for fun in the Discord.
I guess, yeah. I can't believe we did that. I'd never do such a thing.
Yeah, the trailer was okay. The movie looks okay.
Well,
I'm not hyped for it. It looks to me like that generic explosions Transformers type film.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I agree.
Like with the epic music. Like, Jesus Christ, guys, how much bigger can the monsters and the threats get each time, right? Next time, it doesn't get any more epic than this. The next time it's going to be the world crashing into the moon and the sun and explodes and the rocks there. Like,
I will say about Godzilla vs. Kong, and take this as you will, but it's directed by a man named Adam Wingard, who also directed Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, again, I didn't mind Godzilla vs. Kong. I'll even check what I rated it. In my head right now, it's like a 6, maybe a 5, probably a 5, but I would check. 6, yeah, whatever. Here's the thing about Adam Wingard, because don't get me wrong, I want every film to be good. But do I actually think this film's going to exceed my expectations? No. Because every film I've watched by this director has disappointed me in some way. Or just been mediocre. Some of the films he's directed that I've watched include You're Next. A film about a load of... You've probably seen memes from it, maybe. But people with animal masks go into a house and just kill a bunch of people. It's like a slasher horror. Which sounds like it should be my thing. I love slasher horrors. But then I watched it and I was like, I don't care. This isn't I don't actually care about any of this. He directed The Guest, which I think was outright just really bad film. He directed Blair Witch, the third one, which is
bad.
It's so goddamn bad, man.
Oh no.
It's like a 3 out of 10. I've definitely spoke about this. I even spoke about this last time because I was talking about the Blair Witch game.
Yeah.
I love the Blair Witch project. The first Blair Witch project is so fucking good. And I really, really wish that I was alive in the 90s when it came out. Because, man, if I'd seen it in the 90s without any of the preconceptions of what the internet has said about it, and just the fact the internet exists, this is a movie that was made for the pre-internet age. Man, it would be my favourite film ever. I can watch it with those ideas in mind and appreciate how fucking good it is. And then Blair Witch 2016 comes along and is like, duh, that's introduced wood monsters. Duh, let's play with time travel. Duh. And it's like, man, this is a movie for little babies. This is a movie... Someone's dad watches the Blair Witch Project and is like, oh, I love this film, son. You should watch it. You're 12. And the 12-year-old goes, no thanks, Dad. I've already seen Blair Witch. And they're talking about this one.
Yeah.
Awful film. 3 out of 10. And I was like, oh, he can't get any worse. What's his next film? Oh, he directed a film of Death Note. An American version for Netflix. Huh. I really enjoyed Death Note. How bad can this be? This is a dumpster fire. My eyes were bleeding. Look at me. 2 out of 10.
Holy fuck.
One of the worst films of 2017.
Jesus.
Horrific film. Godzilla vs. Kong, unironically, is my favourite of his films. And it's a 6.
Yeah.
So am I thinking this is going to be an amazing film? No. Not even slightly.
Yeah. He hasn't got a track record.
He hasn't got the track record.
Yeah.
He has negative track record. But I'm still, I'm willing to give it the benefit. I want every film to amaze me. I want to go into Madam Web next week and be amazed. And I think that will happen, but I think it's going to happen in the opposite direction. But yeah, they're all the trailers we were going to talk about in depth. I don't want to talk about them in depth. I don't really care. I only really want to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine in depth.
Yeah.
Have you actually seen the first 2 Deadpool movies?
I think so.
Yeah? In Deadpool 1, the first Deadpool, he's just, it's his origin story and he's trying to go after that guy who made him ugly. Yeah. In the second one, he joins X-Force and that robot from the future, Cable, comes and they're trying to save the little mutant boy. The Juggernaut's in it. He gets, Domino is in it, the girl who could control luck.
Yes.
Yeah, you've seen that? Okay.
One. Yes.
Well, they're the only 2.
Right. Okay.
But that movie ends, the post-credit scene for Deadpool 2 is that he gets a hold of Cable's time travel tech.
Yes.
And he goes back in time and changes a bunch of shit.
Yeah, I remember.
Now, obviously since then a lot's happened. Fox was bought out by Disney, and the X-Men characters are all going to be absorbed by the MCU and probably rebooted. But obviously they were like, well, what do we do with Deadpool? Because he's like, when it was cancelled, finally, the X-Men films, he was the most popular one. And Ryan Reynolds is so, liked by the internet and so lovable. And he is Deadpool. He's really good Deadpool. And it was like, well, what do we do? Are we going to have to recast Deadpool? Oh, wait. That movie ended with him changing a bunch of shit. And we've got a show, Loki, where we've got an entire time agency dedicated to stopping shit like that. I've got to admit, that's a really, really clever way of bringing him in. Because he's just living his life in the X-Men universe, and the Time Variance Authority from Loki are going to arrest him, which we've seen in the trailer. They arrest him. And obviously, once they arrest him, their whole thing is that, well, maybe not now actually, because of what happens in Loki, but their whole thing was that they would destroy the variant timeline. And, the sacred timeline is the MCU. That probably won't happen, but they're probably going to take him in and recruit him, and he's going to be plopped into the MCU unchanged.
Yeah.
Great idea. Do that. If you can do that with anyone, it's Deadpool, the guy who breaks the fourth wall and knows he's a character. Like, yeah. You don't need to recast him. Hell, they didn't even need to, he could have just showed up and I would have accepted it. He could have just I thought they were going to introduce, unironically, introduce him in Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. Because that would have been great too. If he just goes into a multiverse and Deadpool's there. That's a very in character. And he's just like, oh hey, like, that I could have bought that. But yeah, what do you think of the trailer? How do you think it looked?
I thought the trailer was good. I liked, you've got that like silhouette shot of what is very obviously Wolverine. Why is he back? Don't know. Don't know if I like that part, but yeah.
I mean, I get why they brought him back, because obviously, it has been a while since Logan. Logan is a perfect ending for the character. But at the same time, it's like, man, people really wanted to see him with Deadpool. In terms of in terms of the comics, that's an incredible partnership. People know Deadpool and Wolverine because they're such conflicting characters. Like, yeah, if you were going to bring him back for anything, bring him back for Deadpool. Also, because Deadpool doesn't take itself too seriously, I imagine Hugh Jackman and the Wolverine character are going to be quite fun in this movie. It's not, because Logan was so serious and gritty and, I'm in so much pain, you know. But here, he's, you know, I feel like the character's going to be able to laugh at himself a little bit, you know. And they've said, Wolverine has said it will be his last time again. No, it won't. They're definitely going to be the Secret Wars. 100%. We're going to get Hugh Jackman's Wolverine meet fucking Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
How old is Hugh Jackman now? He must be getting on. Right?
He's definitely in his 50s, surely.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter, as long as he's ripped. You know?
As long as he's fucking
As long as he's hench. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. I have never minded the Deadpool films. I don't think they're great, but at the same time, you don't need to be. You're fun. And I've said before in the podcast, I still believe it very much so. As long as a film's fun, I personally can overlook, you know, everything else. And Deadpool's very fun. It's a very fun film.
Yeah. That it is.
Yeah. And I think this film is going to have a lot of wild shit in. For example, did you know in 2003 they made a Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck?
No.
They did that. And Jennifer Garner played Elektra in that movie. And then they made a sequel with Elektra in like 2005 and everyone hates it. And that little universe died. And obviously, a decade later, we got Daredevil on TV, which I love, and people just forgot about that. Jennifer Gardner as Elektra from the 2003 Daredevil movie is confirmed to be in this movie.
Oh, I see.
Like, what? Why? I can't wait to find out why. That's kind of fucking crazy. And some of the things that have been floated around about it, like a lot of people think that Michael Chiklis as the Thing from those 2005 Fantastic Four movies, a lot of people think he's been spotted. A lot of people think Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider could be in it.
What?
There's a Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider film. Did you know that?
No. What? Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider is going to be in the MCU.
Well, that's the thing. If they can bring back...
What?
If they can bring back... Again, this isn't a rumour, confirmed.
Wait, is Ghost Rider part of Marvel?
Yeah, it's a Marvel character.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a Marvel character.
Okay, right, I was going to say.
But yeah, if they can bring back...
random Nicolas Cage
that'd be fun.
From a random movie outside of the MCU.
They're bringing in Scarface.
What the fuck?
But yeah, if they can confirm to bring back Elektra from 2003 Daredevil... Honestly, all cards on the table. Yeah, they can bring back anyone. That's a crazy bit of
Nicolas Cage. Oh, baby.
I'd love for him to be in it. That'd be great. But yeah, I'm optimistic. It's also coming out really soon, like July. Like, actually, that's not too long at all. I'm looking forward to it, I've decided. Yeah. I just decided that just now. I'm actually very much looking forward to it.
I'm glad, yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. And we'll obviously talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
I do think the one weird thing about the trailer... the film's called Deadpool and Wolverine, and they do their absolute darndest not to show Wolverine in this trailer, to the point where they don't. You see the back of him twice for like a second apiece. And
you see him grab Deadpool. Yeah.
And it's like, well, I would get that if you wanted to be a surprise. And you kind of did want it to be a surprise. Again, no one who isn't chronically obsessed with the internet knew Wolverine was even coming back. But at the same time, the film is called Deadpool and Wolverine. We should at least see a little bit of Wolverine.
That's a good point, yeah. You'd expect Wolverine to be in the movie, wouldn't you?
Exactly. Yeah. Imagine if they did Spider-Man No Way Home and the trailer was all Doctor Strange and the villains. Yeah. Like, no. He's one of the title characters. We should have seen Wolverine. Obviously, they're not just saving him from the movie. There'll be more trailers, I'm sure. Maybe I've seen a rumor floated around that maybe the second trailer will be entirely centered on Wolverine. Since this trailer was entirely centered on Deadpool, and we'll see how Wolverine kind of gets pulled into it. I don't want them to do that. I think that would be quite plot spoilery. I'd rather wait and see. But just like a little bub, just a little facial thing, It's even worse for me as someone who is on the internet. Because I know I know how he looks in it. I've seen him in costume. I've seen them rehearse a fight scene. I've seen that footage. I know it exists. Just give us a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, I do think that's it.
And that hits the 2 hour mark as well. Almost 2 hours, 10 minutes. It's a pretty long episode.
Yeah. Well, we've got to cut the cigarette break.
Oh yeah, so under 2 hours, I suppose. Yeah.
But you know how I definitely know it's finished? Because you just keep leaning back in your goddamn chair.
It's comfy.
I know it's comfy, but if you want to do that, brother, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to get a second mic. Because then you can do that, and I will actually be able to hear you perfectly. And then we can get another one, and you'll be able to hear me perfectly.
Yeah, we could even do it so that you're with one mic in the room next door, and I'm with one mic.
I don't know why we would. That'd be a dumb thing to do, but we 100% could do that, yes. But yeah, I think that's it. Unless you've got anything else to add?
That's all from me.
Good. Yeah. I'm glad. Have that be all from you forever.
Wow. So no more podcasts.
It would just be me talking. I'll talk to you. You just won't talk to me. Yeah. No, that'd be sad. Don't do that. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching and subscribing. This isn't YouTube. You can't actually. No, you can subscribe. You can subscribe on Spotify, can't you? You can. Thank you for subscribing. Hit that bell, you guys, and
you can hit that on Spotify.
Hit my bell, ding ding.
Well,
and we'll see you in the next one.
Well, we won't see them. We won't even hear them.
You'll hear us in the next one.
Yeah, you'll hear us in the next one.
Yeah, where we'll have a special guest on, my friend Finlay.
Will. Yes. Look forward to Finlay.
Look forward to Finlay, and that will be it. Bye. Washing machines live longer, a cow gone.
Oh, terms and conditions.
Yeah. Disclaimer, washing machines do not last longer.
That's funny.